welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan. For the next half hour, we bring you the special edition which tells you the tale of a friend of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Dhaka and was welcomed by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. He also attended the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Bangladesh War, where he pledged to fight and strengthen ties against terror.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's neighbourhood first push in Bangladesh. Joy Bangla, Jai Hind slogans echo in Dhaka.
Joy Bangla, Joy Hind.
On day one of his first foreign tour since the coronavirus pandemic, Prime Minister Modi attended the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Bangladesh Liberation War. The Prime Minister handed over the Gandhi Peace Prize Award, accorded posthumously to Bangladesh founder Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to his daughters Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Sheikh Rehana.
साथियों, बंधु शेख मुजीबुर रहमान जी ने कहा था, बांग्लादेश स्वाधीन होकर रहेगा। किसी में इतनी शक्ति नहीं है कि बांग्लादेश को दबा करके रख सके। मैं आभार प्रकट।
Prime Minister also hailed Indira Gandhi's role during the 1971 war.
तत्कालीन प्रधानमंत्री श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी जी के प्रयास और उनकी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका सर्वविदित है।
In his address, Prime Minister Modi called for a united effort to fight terror, taking a veiled dig at Pakistan.
मुजीबुर रहमान जी को जो सोच और शक्तियां इस प्रकार की अमानवीय घटनाओं को अंजाम देती हैं, वो अब भी सक्रिय है। हमें उनसे सावधान भी रहना चाहिए और उनसे मुकाबला करने के लिए संगठित भी रहना होगा।
The Prime Minister again aimed at Pakistan without naming it while signing the visitors' book at the Martyrs' Memorial. He called the liberation of Bangladesh the victory of truth and courage over deceit and oppression. In the pandemic world, Modi pushed for vaccine diplomacy.
भारत को इस बात की बहुत खुशी है कि मेड इन इंडिया वैक्सीन्स बांग्लादेश के हमारे बहनों और भाइयों के काम आ रही है।
Both India and Bangladesh are set to ink at least 5 MOUs during the Prime Minister's visit.
During his address at the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Bangladesh Liberation War, Prime Minister Narendra Modi remembered the Indian braves who played a crucial role in the freedom struggle of Mukti Bahini.
मैं आज भारतीय सेना के उन वीर जवानों को भी नमन करता हूं जिन्होंने मुक्ति युद्ध में अपना लहू दिया, अपना बलिदान दिया और आजाद बांग्लादेश के सपने को साकार करने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाई।
As Bangladesh marked 50 years since the liberation war, remembering the braves of Mukti Bahini who shed their blood in the quest for a free Bangladesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the solemn occasion, paying tributes to the Indian braves who rubbed shoulders with the fighters of Mukti Bahini to liberate Bangladesh from Pakistan in 1971.
The instrument of surrender was signed in Dhaka at 16:31 hours.
Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, General Arora, General Jacob, Lance Naik Albert Eka, Group Captain Chandan Singh, Captain Mohan Narayan Rao Samant, ऐसे अनगिनत जितने ही वीर हैं जिनके नेतृत्व और साहस की कथाएं हमें प्रेरित करती हैं।
With Modi invoking the names of India's immortal braves, 50 years of relations got their most honorable tribute yet. Bureau Report, India Today.
In diplomacy, friendship is also about mutual benefits. Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first premier to visit Gopalganj district, Tungipara, Orakandi and Satkira. While the religious sites were important for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the special gesture of visiting Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's mausoleum certainly will find resonance in the domestic politics of Bangladesh.
On the second day of his visit to Bangladesh, Prime Minister Modi kick-started his day by visiting centuries-old Josheshwari temple.
आज मानव जात जिस कोरोना के कारण अनेक संकटों से गुजर रही है, मां से यही प्रार्थना है कि पूरी मानव जात को इस कोरोना के संकट से जल्द मुक्ति दिलाएं.
After that, Prime Minister Modi paid tributes to Bangladesh's founder and Sheikh Hasina's father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, at Bangabandhu Mausoleum that also happens to be his birthplace. On his visit, Prime Minister made a big push to India's neighbourhood first policy. In a boost to ties, India and Bangladesh inked 5 key trade and bilateral agreements.
We have held extensive restricted format discussions and delegation level talks. This allowed the two prime ministers to take stock of progress in various areas, different diverse areas in which we cooperate. This included some discussions on how we could preserve the legacy and spirit of 1971.
The Indian Prime Minister inaugurated a passenger train service between the two nations, setting a foundation for a stronger relations between the two neighbours. Moreover, India gifted 109 ambulances to Bangladesh to strengthen its fight against the COVID pandemic. That's not all. The Prime Minister of India gave 1.2 million doses of coronavirus vaccine to Bangladesh.
Prime Minister Modi recalled his earlier assurance to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina that Bangladesh would continue to get high priority in this regard. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina thanked the Prime Minister for providing 102 million doses or 1 crore 2 lakh doses of vaccines.
Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, as a token of gesture, gave a silver coin to Indian Prime Minister Modi for 50 years of Bangladesh's independence. The Indian Prime Minister checked off the last official engagement of his itinerary by visiting Bangladesh's President Abdul Hamid.
In any relationship, there are convergences and divergences. Between India and Bangladesh, convergences are many, divergences are few. I spoke with the advisor to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Professor Gohar Rizvi, who said that on Teesta there are concerns, but it is between the centre and state government in India to resolve the issue. We are in Dhaka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's significant visit celebrating 50 years of liberation war as also Mujibur Barsho, trying to give the importance that Bangladesh deserves. I'm being joined by Gohar Rizvi, who is the advisor on international affairs to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Many thanks for joining us here, Rizvi Saab, on India Today.
Thank you, Geeta. Always a pleasure to see you.
It's a very significant visit, but there is a lot of optics when it comes to what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing over here. What do you think are the key messages of this visit?
You know, the key message here is that this is a very special occasion for Bangladesh. It is our golden jubilee of our independence and centenary of the birth of the father of the nation. In addition to that, obviously we have a lot to talk. Our relationship between Bangladesh and India in the last 12 years has been transformed.
Would you have ever thought that Matua sect could become such an important factor? We know that in the larger perspective, you see a temple, you see a Gurudwara, you see a church. But to see a sect and a temple and that becoming an important factor, did you ever think, or did Bangladesh ever think it could be such an important factor?
We have a large Matua population in Bangladesh. And for us, and they have been an important focus as a part of our Agenda 2030, where we want to bring all the communities forward, all backwards or all the leftover communities. Matuas are a very important part of that.
Speaking of strategic, anything on the security front? we still have concerns with regards to not Bangladesh government per se, but other elements that are opposed to your government as well as opposed to the Indian administration. There are certain protests that were lined up. There were certain protests that took place against Prime Minister Modi a few days ago. Concerns regarding those elements?
You know, like in all democracies, as is in India, our democracy is fairly robust and noisy. And these protests are those who say that our government clamps on opposition or doesn't allow freedom of expression. I'm glad you were able to see with your own eyes how free. This is a democratic world. Obviously, there are always one or two issues on which people become focused, and it obscures all the other achievements of the two countries. So there are one or two issues, and we need to address them.
Today we are celebrating the Liberation Day, getting out of the clutches of the Pakistani military. But Pakistan still has certain foothold within certain elements in Bangladesh. That always has remained a concern, but Sheikh Hasina has handled them pretty well. In terms of cooperation between India and Bangladesh, how do you see controlling, containing elements that are detrimental to security of the region?
As you know, despite some criticisms, Bangladesh, our Prime Minister, very courageously tried the war criminals who had collaborated with Pakistan and had partaken, who had aided and abetted the Pakistani invading force in carrying out genocide. But like in any society, after a big change like independent Bangladesh, there are small pockets of counter-revolutionaries. They exist. In some cases, they are assisted from outside the frontiers of Pakistan. They are funded from outside. But given the fact that they do not have any significant influence on opinion or electoral outcome of Bangladesh, it's just a question of time when they will all disappear.
Teesta still remains an issue between India and Bangladesh. Mamata Banerjee, and you've been in talks, and I know that for a very long time with the Indian administration during the negotiations. Mamata Banerjee certainly played a role in not allowing Teesta to go through, whether if it was the UPA government or the BJP government now. Where do you see it headed? Because that's certainly something that politically is very important for Sheikh Hasina.
Geeta, you are absolutely right. Unfortunately, our failure to formally sign Teesta agreement has cast a little shadow over all other good things that have happened between the two countries. But let me say this much, that we have an accord in place. We have a formula for sharing waters, and this accord, based on that formula, was initialed between the officials of the two countries. So we are not, there's no question of revisiting that agreement is there. It is between Delhi and Calcutta to persuade the Chief Minister of West Bengal, or whatever the difficulties, I don't know.
All right. On that note, many thanks for joining us. That's the Special Advisor on International Affairs to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, speaking exclusively to India Today. Time for a short break. On the other side, we chronicle the outreach program of Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his Dhaka tour. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Friend of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Thakurbari temple in Aurakandi. Aurakandi is where Harichan Thakur founded the Matwa sect. The Matwa community comprises of 17.4% of the total scheduled caste population in pole-bound Bengal, which is why this visit becomes crucial.
Amid phase 1 voting of Bengal polls comes Prime Minister Narendra Modi's massive outreach to the Matwa community in Bangladesh. Modi is also the first Indian dignitary to have visited the community, which could be a deciding factor in Bengal polls.
हरिचांद ठाकुर जी की कृपा से ओराकांदी ठाकुरबाड़ी की इस पुण्य भूमि को प्रणाम करने का सौभाग्य मिला है।
On day 2 of his visit, Prime Minister Modi offered prayers at Hari Temple in Orakandi, the heartland of the Matwa sect and the birthplace of its founder, Hari Chand Thakur, an influential group among Bengal's scheduled caste community. The temple is situated around 200 kilometers in Dhaka, but has huge political implications in election-bound Bengal.
मैं बांग्लादेश के राष्ट्रीय पर्व पर भारत के 130 करोड़ भाई बहनों की तरफ से आपके लिए प्रेम और शुभकामनाएं लाया हूं।
Addressing the members of the community, the Prime Minister drew parallel between Matwas of Thakur Nagar in Bengal and Thakurbadi in Bangladesh.
पश्चिम बंगाल में ठाकुर नगर से बांग्लादेश में ठाकुरबाड़ी तक वैसी ही श्रद्धा है, वैसी ही आस्था है और वैसा ही अनुभव है।
And here comes an interesting moment. When the priest of the Hari Thakur temple tried to touch Prime Minister's feet, but Modi stopped him.
So we are very, very proud, and not only Siddha Morakandi, but also CC Horiguru Chand Motu, on behalf of CC Horiguru Chand Motu Mission and Sri Padmanabha Thakur, we greet you highly.
Classified as a scheduled caste, Matuas are Namasudras or low caste Hindu refugees who have migrated to West Bengal from Bangladesh over many decades since partition. The Matuas constitute 17.4% of the total SC population in Bengal. That amounts to around 1.8 crore people spread across North 24 and South 24 Parganas, Nadia, Jalpaiguri, Cooch Behar and several other districts. In North 24 Parganas, there are over 33 assembly constituencies, out of which the TMC won 27 in 2016. But the TMC lost 12 of these assembly segments to the BJP in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, primarily because Matuas backed the Saffron Party. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP won 4 out of the 10 seats reserved for SCs. It had offered the Matua migrants citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act. In 2019 also, Prime Minister Modi had reached out to the sect ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. He visited Veena Pani Devi, a 4th-generation descendant of the sect's founder. 30 lakh potential voters from the Matua sect voted for the BJP in 2019, helping the Saffron Party win at least 9 out of the 18 seats that it won in Bengal.
A deserter in one country and a hero celebrated person in the other, in 2 others, in fact, Bangladesh and in India. I'll be speaking with Lieutenant Colonel Qazi Sajjad Ali Zahir, who fought with the Bangladeshis and side by side with the Indians to ensure that Pakistan is defeated. He was a part of the Pakistani army and left the Pakistani army when he heard of the atrocities being meted out to his own people in his homeland, Bangladesh, then erstwhile East Pakistan. Let's go and speak to him and know about his story. Sajjad Saab, many thanks for joining us here in India today. It is a pleasure, and we will be asking you about your life, your history, and what really happened when you fled Pakistan, entered India, and then moved to Bangladesh.
Thank you for the visit. I'm very happy that you could visit me. Yes, those were the days of another generation. I was a very young man, teenager. But then the mental sufferings and the torture of my people, which I came to know, made me a matured man. I was preparing to take responsibilities. At that young age, with 20 rupees in my pocket, one boat made of cloth, one trouser one belt, one shirt, and inside my boat, all the information they could gather about Pakistan Army for their future battle. Only asset of my life. I crossed over J&K border and walked towards Samba in a God-forsaken land. Nothing to look forward to, nothing to look back to. If I am caught and executed, I do not know how the Indians are going to treat me. But I thought I had a fighting chance. I will be able to convince them that I am not their enemy, but a friend. Then my beloved people, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instructors, all the Sardarjis.
Oh, wow.
I talked to the Indian Brigade Major. I want some good instructors because I have no time to give. I have to be all the time in the front. He says, I will give you 7. And he gave me 7. They trained our boys.
Okay.
Fabulous people.
Okay.
All from the Sikh regiment, you know. Yeah. And I had only one shirt and one trouser. That's all. This is
again an old photograph. So these are the only photographs. You're from the RT regiment.
Para RT. You see, I've seen a typical Mukti Bahini boy. So this is my squad.
Okay.
Everybody wearing lungi and t-shirt. That's all.
Lovely.
They're all young boys. Only one man is a little older. He was a subedar.
Any memories of you that you
but
have?
very few. Actually, when I came from Pakistan Army, I brought 20 rupees. I had no photograph. But my parents' house was burned and destroyed everything. My mother used to keep one photograph of me everywhere, every time with her.
Which is?
In her bag. And that's the photograph only I have.
Well, that's the young
officer.
That's lovely. And what about the other photographs? Where was this taken?
This was taken in the front actually. One war-wounded freedom fighter, he managed the camera from his uncle. His uncle is to live in India and took this photograph of mine.
How does it feel to be honored with the Padma Shri, a recognition and the kind of work you've done with the martyrs and those who worked with the Mukti Bahini or were part of the freedom struggle?
I feel that the 71, the war we fought together, was glamorous, but not largely documented, which I try to document now. There is a think tank in India called Center for Land Warfare Studies.
Yes, of course.
When I went there 5 years back, everybody was suggesting many things, and I suggested only one thing. If you can fight the war together, why can't you write the war together? The first book is Liberation of Bangladesh. 50% of the book written by Indian veterans, 50 is Bangladeshi veterans. So the unification. By doing this honor, I can unify more. Our people with your people.
That's all in this special edition, Friend of Bangladesh. Hope you enjoyed this show. India-Bangladesh ties are time-tested, but also one that is essential for stability in the region. Thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.